Hello, and welcome to the video. And yes, I have not been active for a while now, but I'm back, and I hope to make more videos like this or different videos, maybe like this in the future. I mean, I have a I'm probably might do a partnership with someone on like this YouTube channel. So I mean, I don't know where that's gonna go, but I don't know, something to look out for, I guess. And the topic of today's clip is the value of interaction. It's something that is not very talked about much. When it comes to interaction, to a lot of us may seem automatic. It's second nature, I guess, for some of us, but for other people it's not. And for people, especially like me, our default response is to just keep to ourselves, to not initiate a conversation, because we might not think we might not think it's worth it to do that. To us, small talk. I mean, don't get me wrong. I hate small talk. I hate conversations that are not worth it. And I struggle with this all my life. But the thing is, the little things do matter. The little things do matter when it comes to interaction. To give you an example, this is in the perspective of a high schooler, so bear with me here. But the story goes that I was in gym class, and for many weeks on end, I didn't have any thoughts about talking to anyone else because I don't know. I just didn't. I didn't really see anyone that would have the same values or be in somewhat way similar to my interests. No one seemed to stick out, I guess. And that was until this one day when I was walking the track, I guess. The first 20 minutes of gym class is walking the track, right? And I was walking by myself, of course, when I see this other person who's walking by themselves, and it seems like they are keeping to themselves as well. And to me, it seemed like, oh yeah, this person might have some interesting things to say. So I may as well start a conversation because I have in this situation I have nothing else to do, and I'm desperate for conversation. it's I have been very deprived of, not by anyone else. I haven't been deprived of social interaction by anyone else, but by my own actions, I guess. But anyway, I decide to. I'm not sure what topic this to begin with. So I just begin with something basic. I hesitate for a while, but eventually I say quotes. No quotes. Eventually I say, oh, the weather's nice today. Those are the words I said. I said the weather's nice today, and of course that may seem like a very basic thing, not a lot of okay, the weather's nice today, but I continue that. I was like, oh, the breeze. I like the temperature's nice, but if you've ever been to Alaska, I really like Alaska in the summer. It's a very nice temperature in the summer. Maybe not in the winter. Well, in the winter it's like dark 24 hours, or like is dark most of the time, and it's probably very interesting. But anyway, but yeah, I told him, I continued the conversation. I was like, you know, Alaska has some of the. I mean, this is true. Alaska has some of the clearest, cleanest air I've ever smelled in my entire life. This was in Wasilla, which was right outside of Anchorage, where I was visiting for the summer, and yeah, it was very nice. And so it eventually, the conversation eventually evolved. I mean, it evolved away from the weather and temperature into other things, like, he began to express his passion for things like anime and Godzilla and Pokemon, Digimon, as well as art. I've never really been an artist myself, and the only art that I've drawn is like, I've only drawn one kind of art before, and it's usually like an over a bird's eye view of a cityscape. That's the kind of drawings that I do. But anyway, it was a very insightful conversation. It moved between different topics, and I got to know things. I got to know things that I would have never known from that person in the first place. Of course, I I think I might have already said this, but I don't share the same. I don't share the exact same interests as him. I'm more into music and, of course, the violin, classical music. Um, that's my kind of thing. And I mean, I guess I also said I kind of like tennis and swimming and cycling. Those are probably the only kind of sports that I would. Well, I mean, maybe bowling, if that counts as a sport. I don't know. But anyway, it was a very insightful conversation. But the thing is, if I had never initiated that before, if I did not do that, I wouldn't know those things about him. And if I just kept to myself, nothing would happen. And trust me, I've been through months of isolation. I've been through months of not talking, or not really having a good conversation with anyone before. Usually when we talk to people, it's kind of in like a need, kind of like in a necessity kind of way, where you have to to do ask someone to do something, ask someone for a necessity, or it's anything for a necessity. But the conversation that I had was was purposeful, and was not a necessity, but a want, I guess. And that's one of the people when people talk about wanting, it's usually in like a negative light. Um, People say that, you people say that wanting is not good because it's materialism and it's consumerism. But in this case, wanting to initiate a conversation is very beneficial. Even though at first it may not seem like a necessity, it can still beneficial to your life, I guess. Especially if you're someone who's not good at social skills, or not really well trained in social skills, it can be kind of useful. in some ways, I guess. And I there was also another time that I last year that I initiated a conversation with someone in my one of my periods, and it was very that other person also liked art a lot too. Kind of interesting, but with both of those people, it was on a one-on-one kind of basis. Like, it may seem like I know everything about conversations and stuff like that, but I'm just as clueless. Like, I still can't talk to groups, like maybe like two people at once, but I can't talk to groups of people. Like, that just scares me. I guess it just really scares me. Uh, but I am starting to initiate conversations on a one-on-one kind of level, and I mean, yeah, it's better than always keeping your thoughts to yourself and not putting yourself out there. But I would also like to be able to talk to a group, because it's hard to find someone else who is alone out there. Yes, our society is becoming more individualized and becoming more single in some ways. Like, if you've ever seen, the number of close friends in the U.S. has actually gone down in the past few decades, especially in the past few decades. So yeah, I mean, yes, there is more. You could say there is more lonely people out there, but also, if you try to look for someone in like a social environment, you'll probably see someone in a group, because people in groups are really the only ones out there in a public setting. While a lot of people saw who are are not a part of that, remove themselves from that environment, because there's really no point. It's not like that group is going to talk to them or anything. But yeah, anyway, this video is probably getting too long, but it's just the value of conversation. Sure, I mean, it can start off small. It doesn't have to be crazy or anything, but it really goes a long way, especially over time. And that conversation I had with the person in my gym class, right? Like, that eventually led to me getting their number, and that person even wants to work with me on this channel. So that's really cool. Like, someone I met in real life. I mean, I don't. Yes, you can meet people in real. I've definitely heard stories of like people who meet their best friend, I guess, in online, I guess, and they meet in person, and it's actually a good relationship. But like, usually online friendships are not in person. If you meet someone solely online, you probably won't ever meet them in real life, and you probably, I don't know if that might not be a good idea to do that, but depending on the person, but it really goes a long way. And honestly, you can literally meet the next the person that you initiate a conversation with. It can really turn out to be a very good experience. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it insightful, and thank you. Thank you. Good